been riding your bikes across the country? Man, y'all are crazy. Just take a moment, guys, and just soak this in. It's a beautiful day in San Francisco. You're riding across one of the most famous landmarks in our country. I'm going to give you a word of advice, guys. It's something that I did when I rode it just a few years ago across this bridge. When you're going across, just look to the left and look at that water, guys. It's going to be so blue, and it's going to be the last time you're going to see it in a long time. So just soak it in. Just remember this moment every day, guys, because this is something you're going to carry with you for the rest of your life. Think about all the hard work that it's taken to get to this point already. You guys have already trained, or at least should have trained, many miles, and you guys have all committed yourselves to raising, at least $4,000, and some of you much, much more. Take a good look at them. I know I said this last night, but these are going to be changed men. These men are not going to be the same men that you're going to see 2 months from now, because there's going to be something different, and you might not know what it is, but you're just going to notice it when you see it.
Giving up is just not an option. If I give up and I fail on something that I promised I'd do for them and for myself, and I'm not going to go home and all the people that worked so hard to get me here and tell them that I couldn't make it.
Cycling and life in general is being prepared mentally for it, and I think I'm just going to draw on the fact that I know I can get it done with, and I know I can go through it. And there's those people there that are going to be waiting for us at the end, and they might not necessarily care if we bike every mile, but if I have, it'll make me feel good about it. If I can't bike every mile, it comes down to it. Less than 5% I heard, but don't bike every mile, but that's fine. It's not about going every mile. It's about doing what the trip's really about, helping people with disabilities.
But you know that no matter how hard your day is, you kind of forget about it once you step into a friendship visit and you meet the people that you meet every day. Once you step in there, it's just like the road wasn't even there that day.
I'm doing it to keep a promise to Jason Terada, who's my big brother. I have to be honest, I never really thought about it until after his unfortunate accident, when he passed away, and that was about a month after he kind of asked me to do this. I have a slightly sprained knee, so I would be lying to tell you I'm not just a little bit worried.
An honest reality is, at least I feel pain. At least I'm able to be going up Kirkwood, and how dare I think that I shouldn't keep going. That's part of me, and likewise, I've tried hard to be prepared, so I hope I am, because I want this trip to be the best it can be, and I don't want the riding to get in the way of the service. I'm still sort of in shock that it's here, that I've always wanted to do this thing called Journey of Hope, and that now I'm actually on it, and I'm wearing a shirt and I'm wearing a jersey, and that's about to begin.
My name is Rob Kelly. The Journey of Hope is a cross-country cycling trip from San Francisco to Washington, D.C. That raises funds and awareness on behalf of people with disabilities. We do this in a number of different ways. Last night the team went to the San Francisco Giants game and did the on-field presentation before the game started, automatically touching 40,000 fans before we ever kick off from the Golden Gate Bridge.
We're here, it's game time, it's really cold, but we're so freaking money. We're so money, and we don't even know it.
Yeah.
Christian's kind of nervous, though, but,
He looks real nervous, but we're straight.
But we look good. This is the stuff champions are made of.
Exactly.
Right here.
We're made for it. We're made for it right now.
The San Francisco Giants are pleased to welcome members of the 2002 Journey of Hope team to Pacific Del Park this evening. They represent 2 teams of 56 cyclists and 14 team members that will begin a cross-country bicycle trip on June 2nd here in San Francisco. Fans, please join the Giants as we salute the efforts of these young men on behalf of people with disabilities in San Francisco and across the nation. Thank you, fellas.
We also meet with many different facilities across the country that serve people with disabilities, such as the RCH, where we are at currently right now.
The first friendship visit was awesome. We went to the RCH here in San Francisco, and we got to meet some incredible people. It was really cool. We got to play a basketball game with them, and
just kind of got to tour their facility and everything, but it was just great getting to interact and getting to meet a whole new group of people. And I mean, they were just full of energy, and they sounded like they were just excited to see us as we were them.
Ask what our record is.
What's your record?
135 wins, no losses.
0 defeats, 1 tie. 1 tie.
1 tie.
3 arrests, 2 convictions.
That's true.
And why are we so good?
We cheat.
We cheat. But you'll see. You guys, they have a lot of players.
If I was a betting man, I would definitely bet against us.
I'd say his chances are slim to none that we're going to win.
Just want to talk right now just about the friendship visit that we had today. I don't know about you guys, that's a pretty awesome way to start off the Journey of Hope. I saw quite a few smiling faces there. First, I just want to get a show of hands because I know that this was a very new thing for a lot of you guys. First off, who felt uncomfortable at times? Be honest. That's totally okay. I mean, that's probably what, 2/3 of you guys. I know that you know we're all at different levels, and basically just to give you a brief rundown of what a friendship visit debrief is. We just sit there, talk about what we experienced, the different disabilities maybe we encountered, you know, how you guys felt, and we try to just learn and feed off one another so that we might learn more about people with disabilities and the population that we are trying to serve.
I think there's still a little apprehension always when you go to people, but I think you have to go in with no expectations and go in knowing that you're going to try to just bring a little happiness to those people.
It was difficult. I mean, it's something that I'm not used to. None of my family members or obviously myself have never experienced a disability. So it was hard to get accustomed to, but the people are very warm, welcoming. They make you feel good, and you get used to it pretty easy.
The school that I participate in with people with disabilities back home, you know, I go over there and flock over there just to get away from my life. You know, sometimes it's almost vacation. These 2-year-old kids with Down syndrome don't understand how much they bring to us by making it simple again. You know, that you know, watching a thing of blocks that you just built up fall really should be funny. It shouldn't be something that you get angry about. And I think that way just kind of simplify things and allow you to reaffirm that, you know, what's this all about?
You know, we've talked about you know, breaking out of your comfort zone, you know, busting out of the bubble, whatever you want to call it, and really jumping into the friendship visits, because you guys you think that DC is a long ways away. You think that you know, 66 days from now or whatever it is, it's a long time. You guys remember right now, you're going to blink your eyes and you're going to be standing in the Capitol building. You just talk to the guys that have done it before, and I can guarantee you, you do not want to waste one moment of this trip. It is going to go by in an instant.
It's been a really wild day. With more I need to say, I discovered someone new. I knew for a while, but the greatest thing, she knows what I mean. It's been a really wild day.
It's mail time. Got mail. It's a happy day. Long letter from the girlfriend. Might have to read. Oh my gosh, that is really long. Holy. We're here at the Excalibur in Las Vegas, and what we're getting ready to do is to go on the Jester stage and do the Kids on the Block puppet show.
The skit I do is called New Friends, and it's where my character Melody meets Mark Riley, who is a child who has cerebral palsy.
You mean you don't ever
no, no, no. But I get around real good in this baby.
Oh, your wheelchair, right?
Wrong.
Wrong.
Yep, this is my souped up Super Sport GTO, faster than a jet plane cruiser. I get 30 miles per hour downhill in this baby.
Well, I play Ronaldo Rodriguez, who's the 11-year-old that has blindness. And I think the funniest questions that they've had so far is just how do you go to bed? And it's really hard to explain to them. You know, you just try to explain that you just close your eyes.
One of the kids asked if it hurts to be blind. I thought that was kind of a funny question because, I mean, that kind of explains like why we need to do this Kids on the Block puppet show, because there's some level of understanding that, I mean, we can really promote by this they don't have.
Like these, you just want to please another passerby, another wandering sky. Isn't it funny, just losing myself, I know I'm alive.
Last night we went to the 51s game, and we watched it with some people with disabilities, and I met a guy named Timmy who was 36 or 7, and he had a crush on one of the other girls there named Heather, who I was hanging out with for a little bit. She was 33, and she was just talking about how it's so difficult right now for her to get a job because she has a cane, and how that's throwing her off more and more every day. And they look at the cane, they don't look beyond what she can do.
There's a clock.
It is a clock. Too bad you don't know your girlfriend's name.
Why did you have a phone number? Why?
You gonna get her phone number? Okay, I'll watch.
Wait till about 6 o'clock.
By 6 o'clock? What time? It's already 6 o'clock. It's 7:54. By 8 o'clock, how about?
No, the baseball.
By 6 innings, is that what you're saying? Okay.
Fielder,
how about by the 4th inning?
Crosby.
Come on. You gotta step it up here.
Fine.
All right, we'll go to the 5th inning. You better get a name first.
She was worried, you know, about people looking at her and seeing the cane and automatically thinking that she's completely disabled mentally and physically. And that's not the case. She's just physically disabled. And mentally she's there. She can do anything that anyone else can do.
You can't be afraid of anything because you might as well just give up then. But if you're not afraid, you'll survive anything. I learned it from my old high school English teacher, believe
Really?
it or not. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
His name is Louis Marino.
You remember him, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in Las Vegas?
No, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Philadelphia. I almost went to school in Philadelphia.
I went to the school for the handicapped, Widener Memorial School.
Pretty good school?
For the handicapped, yeah.
Cool.
I learned more than I thought I'd learn.
What was your favorite? What was your favorite thing to learn there?
Math and English. And my math teacher had what I have, cerebral palsy.
Really?
So that was kind of
cool,
interesting.
Huh? It's an inspiration, right?
Yeah. It's kind of interesting to have a teacher have the same thing you have.
Sure.
Because then he understands all the roadblocks and the difficulties.
Yeah.
I think once she found out what we were doing, that we were spreading the awareness of the abilities of people with disabilities, she was a lot more open, a lot more excited to see people like ourselves actually going out there and trying to make, you know, a name for these people.
I think it's great. Yeah. Every country should have something like this so we can spread awareness. Instead of concentrating on our disabilities, look at what we can do instead of what we can't.
old are you, Timmy?
Number 6.
20.
Right fielder.
You're not 20.
Luke Allen.
I'm older than 20.
How old are you?
33.
I'm 33. I'm 33.
You're a jokester, Timmy.
I'll pull your leg.
You are pulling my leg. Sir?
Come on, everyone, make some more noise on your feet. Join the birthday boy and his friends.
You can't move it. Heather. That's right.
On mountain on the horizon and the winter face. My heart sinks a little at the base for God's grace. Look for miles and miles on the road that don't bend. Towards town on the road that don't end. We pushed it too hard, we pushed it too fast. You can't do that if you want it to last. Every time I looked into your eyes, you uttered the words that gave my heart a rise. The road ahead's not clear, but with you by my side, there's nothing I will fear, 'cause it might as well be all downhill from here.
Took a dive in the pavement about 3 days ago. We were coming along a road about like this, except there was no shoulder, so we were on the white line, and a tractor trailer truck comes and blows by us and didn't even go over in the other lane at all. He didn't cross the yellow line at all. And the wind pushed me into another guy in front of me. And when I did, I lost control of the bike and it whipped me out the road. Actually, the worst of it was my head. My head pounded on the pavement a couple times, and then this, and just back here on the back of my jersey. But it definitely, the helmet definitely broke my fall, and probably saved. I have no doubt it saved me from being a lot worse off. So I was glad I had that thing on.
The headwind's just hitting us, but hopefully we'll be able to cut through it pretty soon, and if not, just hammer our way through it.
Okay, I just blew a tube going 35 miles an hour down a hill, and then I lost all my pressure and I was running on my tire at 35 with no tube in it, so I shredded the side. Check this out. Chunk, split. Good stuff. Time to rack.
I was enjoying a nice downhill until I went through some glass, the same glass Lou did, and got a flat tire, put a little hole in my tire, so not good.
Brian and Jeff. And yeah, Brian's fine, but yeah, everyone has.
Are they having flats?
Yeah. Same old, same old.
We'll see you there. Man, peanut butter and jelly never tasted so good.
The road ahead's not clear, but with you by my side, there's nothing I will fear, 'cause it might as well be all downhill from the road ahead.
I don't see a hill to go down, but let's just think that there's one there.
I will fear, 'cause it might as well be all downhill from the road ahead, not clear.
I got rice, cook it in the microwave. I got a 3-day beard. I don't plan to shave, but it's good for things, but I just gotta say, hey, I'm doing alright. And it's a great day to be, come boy, alive. I know the sun's still
It might as well be, it might as well be all downhill from here.
I don't know. He was sweeping all day and he was out in the sun for a long time, pulling guys that were having bike problems, and he just got to him. I think he didn't get enough water in him. He was getting dehydrated.
I had 15 or 20 bottles of water though.
What you guys doing? Makey, you mean undress you, buddy? You'll be really gentle. I'll be sweet to you.
Oh, that feels good, thank you.
114 degrees today, says the climate control.
Yeah, but you were sitting there and you were like, 120, you're like, no. Like it was really like 85 or something, and Dino was just lying to us, and you're like, no, mine said it was like 114.
We had these guys pass us on their BMX bikes, and they're like, they go, don't you guys think it's a little hot to be riding a bike? I was like, hell yeah. And it was like, where are you guys coming from anyways? And we're like, Vegas, and he's like, yeah.
There were like 4 of us that were laying under the car. It was on gravel rock. Usually it would be like the most uncomfortable thing. I was out like a light. It was me, Case Ball, Ryan Roth, and Colburn. Yeah, we were under the truck. It was so nice.
One of our first visits to RCH, San Francisco. I went over to the sidelines and sat behind one little girl and was talking with her and just asking questions. And we just talked about what she was doing in school and what she liked to do, her hobbies. Told me about her teachers and things she's painted and everything. And I don't know, she got in the game. We had fun and kind of got separated a little bit toward the end. But as we were leaving, we're all saying goodbye. She saw me from across the court. She waved at me, smiled real big, and called out my name, told me goodbye. And I don't know, it's just something that quick. It's you don't think you can make a connection in that short amount of time. But I don't know, it's just kind of interesting how I don't know how normal and how much of an impact you can have.
There's like I said, Andre, JJ, and Larry all have mono.
David.
Huh?
No, he got mono.
No, the 3 of them got mono, and Andre opted to go home because he couldn't. I guess he just knocked him on his butt. Yeah. So that stinks, man.
Man.
Cycling is a lot harder than I expected. It's really, when people say that this trip is completely mental, they're absolutely right. It's not a matter of, most of the guys that are out here are in shape enough that they can physically do it, but it's a mental block sometimes that I've had to deal with, and hopefully I'm over it now, but we'll see. Cycling has been tough, but friendship visits are awesome. They make up for it.
The trip's a lot harder than I thought, and every time, the biggest realization was kind of with Kirkwood, when it happened, that every time I did hurt, I was like, well, at least I have the ability to hurt, and that I get the opportunity to be on this trip opposed to other people who might not be able to use their legs, who might not be able to actually commit something like this, and that's in that instance that was pretty difficult, but really kind of an awesome feeling. And the last 2 days in Vegas have been just incredibly draining, and then today with doing a century, woke up this morning really doubting myself in doing it, and I made it. So it was hot, and it felt like we were standing in front of a hairdryer for the last 20 miles, but we still made it. We're healthy, we're well fed, and we're getting ready for bed. So it's been a good time, but it's really pushed me and stretched my limits.
No matter what I say or do, you're never satisfied. I try and try
Day 49. Date July 20th. Destination Birmingham, Alabama. Mileage 60 miles. Stage up's 11:30. Arrivals at 12.
Anybody have anything? My dog's coming out here today, and don't make any comments about his weight. He's a bit sensitive about it, and his name is Woody.
I just wanted to give a shout out to Harple for getting up and trying yesterday. I know the first like 5 miles he was smoking us, you were cooking it. We were proud of you, man, and trying to keep up first thing in the morning. It's unfortunate what happened, but we're glad that you made it out there yesterday.
Jared Harple, all of us are crossing the bridge. So we come across the bridge, and I'm pace line about 18 inches off Jared's wheel. Jared hits a bump, starts flying all around, falls down, and I can't go anywhere. If I go left, I go into traffic. If I go right, I go off the bridge. So plowed right into Jared. He's got cog marks up his back. It's pretty cool.
It was a little bit different than that. Like, stuff wasn't, I mean, I was new to the pace line, and they were calling out an object, and the person in front of me didn't call it out, and boom, it was bad.
It was a large rock about this size. Everyone in the pace line, I think Harple was the 4th person in line. Everyone called it out, but they called it out kind of casually just because we've all been riding together for 48 days, and I guess we just kind of forgot Harple was with us.
Well, he called it out, but I didn't hear it, so.
I figured there wasn't going to be many more opportunities to run him over with my bicycle, so I took advantage of the situation and just plowed right into him.
It hurt. It hurt pretty bad. I was sliding on my back, and the next thing I know, pow! Felt like it was like a world's, like Ripley's I Can't Believe It or Not, because I couldn't believe I got hit in the back.
Yeah, it was a little scary.
I'm not glad Harper was on the bike yesterday. I now lost several years of my life. Thank you, Harper. Let's pray.
I mean, I'm not going to say it's cake, but sure is a lot better. I mean, having the mountains to start off with kind of got you started on the right foot. I mean, I'm a lot more trained now through Texas, especially the rolling hills. Makes you build up some strength. I mean, 60 miles feels good.
Well, it's easier mentally, but physically, we'll see. Today's one of those days that you just wake up and you feel like you just took a nap, so we'll see how that goes today on the bike.
We were riding along, Jeremiah was heading the pace line, I was in second. We were going about 24 miles per hour, and all of a sudden we hear these dogs barking on the right, so we just both instinctively just turn and look, and see this huge squirrel come bouncing out at us, and I'm like, oh crap, Jeremiah's going to run over it, and then he missed it, and I was like, oh, I'm going to run over it, and then the next thing I know, I just look down, and the squirrel is latched onto my leg, and so like I just scream. I'm like, ah! And so his back 2 feet are lashed into my shoe, and his front 2 feet, he grabs my chain, so he's kind of rocking back and forth between my chain and my shoe. And I'm like, guys, take a picture. Somebody take a picture of this. Nobody's going to believe the story. And so I'm riding along, and I don't pedal anymore because I don't want to get it caught in my chain and kill it. So I figure if I unclip my right foot, it'll just hang onto my bike. But when I clipped out my right foot, my foot was hanging up about 3 feet off the ground, and it was just hanging by one leg on my shoe. And so I finally just hit the brakes and stopped, and we pulled it off my shoe, and it just sat there shaking like this. But everybody thought I was making up the story, and I was like, how can I make up something so ridiculous? And so we took some pictures of the squirrel, so hopefully everybody will believe us. But I think it's one of the freakiest things that's ever happened on the journey, I hope, so far.
I thought I was special when a grasshopper did a ride along, but he's got squirrels hanging on, so must have something going on that I don't.
I'm riding on that night train, my head is hanging low. These awful blues will follow me wherever I may go.
Dino's going crazy. We started noticing it probably the end of New Mexico. Like every day he's just got this crazier look in his eyes. His eyes are getting kind of glazed over, and I don't think he likes us anymore. But I think it was since the accident started happening.
They do off and on.
Quit liking us.
I hate them all.
No. We ask him where the bathroom is too often. He doesn't like to be asked where the bathroom is.
He tells us about Meridian every
Thinks we
single
take,
day.
like, classes in college about how to find bathrooms.
They couldn't find the bathroom in a restaurant that I've never been to, and they asked me where the bathroom is.
Hey, you're supposed to be the omniscient, all-knowing project manager.
Man, I wish. I usually call ahead and be like, hey man, can you give me a floor pan? I'm wondering where the bathrooms are.
He's burning out on us. Every day he snaps. He's like, you can do whatever you want. You get a plane ticket home the next day. But he's been doing a pretty good job for what he's had to work with, you know.
He's a different Dino than he was in the beginning, that's for sure.
Well, we were going, it was Tonopah, and we woke up in the morning. He had this huge downhill, and you were just flying down it. And when you wake up, it's really cold in the morning. It's, what, about 50 degrees?
40 maybe. Yeah. 40, 50.
Well, I mean, like, we all have our arm warmers on. I think Jesse didn't have his.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was a pretty bad day.
But he was going down, and, you know, the wind made it a whole lot colder, but it wasn't to the point that it was unbearable. And Jesse got frostbite on his big toe and had to rack. Or, no, racked himself. So.
No, I never called it frostbite. I never called it frostbite. That came from other people, not from me.
We came over to Lakeshore Foundation, jumped downstairs and grabbed something to eat. Ran inside the gym and started playing wheelchair basketball with a couple clients. And by far, this is the most fun I've had on the trip. We played for like an hour and a half with the guys, just a 5-on-5 game. The guys rotating in and out, and they were awesome. One guy was a junior national, best player in the nation. I think he was playing on the junior national squad, the national squad for our National Wheelchair Basketball Association, and he was unbelievable. But just go out there and play those guys. It was fun, and then we all kind of clowned around with them after a while and played a little 3-on-3 game. So this is by far the most fun I've had on the trip. Just having fun with the clients and playing wheelchair basketball.
We're here at the Barons game, Birmingham Barons, and it's another one of our friendship visits. I was talking with Angie a little bit. Angie's pretty excited about her boyfriend. I haven't met him yet. She pointed him out to me, but I haven't met him. I don't know his name. She had a little problem with one of the guys from the JOH. She said she's going to have to beat him up later. She was showing him her muscles.
I didn't do anything. She's just picking me out of the blue.
I'm gonna do the next.
Yeah. I know you are.
I'm sitting with Belinda. Me and Chris Carroll are eating dinner, and we're just sitting around kind of talking and stuff. And Belinda actually has a communication board where she's able to talk to us through a computer voice. So it's neat to see how people with disabilities, especially people with cerebral palsy, can talk to us using this communication board and the technology they have.
Just surrounded by me. No, you happy? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you want to talk to him? She say, "What's up?" She using her monitor to talk to him.
Oh, really? Nothing much.
People that pass by and don't know anything about CP probably think that Belinda just doesn't know how to communicate and is just basically a person in a wheelchair, which is kind of disappointing because that's what the stereotypical view of somebody with CP is.
See what we got here.
How many?
How many? How many? How many what? Oh no, she's going to the females here.
How many women?
How many girlfriends? Asking how many girlfriends I have? You want to know how many my whole life, or how many I got now? My whole life?
Yeah.
Only 2 my whole life.
So it's nothing weird, but to people that don't know, just think she's abnormal, that she's weird, and which is sad. But that's the reason why we're out here. That's why we're gonna ride the bike.
I met a guy named Raymond who had a severe head injury. He before his head injury, he was a black belt in karate. I believe he played high school football and different sports like that. And he was pumping gas one night, and I guess somebody decided they were going to rob the gas station. They ended up shooting him in the head. And probably one of the most positive guys I've met in my life.
It'll be all right.
If someone can go through hardship like that and come out with an attitude like that, it just kind of makes me think any problems that I have are just minuscule.
It'll be all right.
Yeah, it will be all right.
Today we're in Jackson's Gap, Alabama, at Camp ASCO, which is an Easter Seals camp for people with disabilities. I think Push America has given over $70,000 for the grants, plus labor and everything else to this camp. They say anytime you look around here, and if you see something made of wood, it was built by Push America. It's really cool because I think in about the last 6 or 7 days, everyone's kind of realized that we're running out of time, and everyone's really starting to lighten up and really get into the whole spirit of having a really good time.
You mess me around and then worst of all, you never call baby when you say you will, but I love you still. I need you more than anyone, darling. You know that I heard from the start. So build me up, buttercup, don't break my heart.
I got a mascot in Roswell, New Mexico. And Roswell, New Mexico, everyone is famous for its alien landing. So I got a little alien, and I sit him in between my aero bars, and his name's Ralph. It stands for Roswell Alien Lifeform. Mike Barnes is he's probably one of the guys I'm closest to on the trip, and ever since I got Ralphie, I use Ralph to talk to Mike, and sometimes it aggravates Mike a little bit. He really does not like Ralph at all.
He gets under my skin. He knows my buttons, and
Mike just yesterday he got fed up. He took out his alien tool and he stuck it right through Ralph's head.
Poor Ralph. Barnes now is threatening to slice his head off and lay him down next to me.
John just uses him as a conduit to express his own feelings toward him.
We say Ralph's had a little surgery, but he's still talking to Mike.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Broken Spoke number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody in the team say, "Come on, let's ride to the bike shop on the corner." The boy says, "I got a broken spoke and I really don't wanna." That's all I know. Working on the rest of it.
I love it when they make songs for me.
Broken Spoke number 7, by the way.
Every day I remember the way it feels riding alone, just thinking about you. The way you look when I get there. Where is my head? Where is my head?
Guys, stop! We're going the wrong way! Stop! Pass it along!
Got him lost. I hadn't gotten lost all summer. This is my first time, so I guess it had to happen sooner or later, the day before DC. But anyways, that's what happened.
Hey, Case, I
Yeah.
When we rode by Chad, remember when I said, "Are you sure this is the right way?" And he goes, "Yeah." It's back the way we were pedaling before, the exact opposite. This has got to be a tradition. They just don't tell you about it. Like at crew orientation, they're like, "Okay, guys, on the last day, you route the team and get them lost just for fun."
I guess I was being lazy, didn't want to look at my route sheet, and so I asked Brian at the last turn, and he said, I could have sworn he said left. He said he didn't remember saying it. But. Of course, you know, I don't remember saying it, and I don't remember not saying it, but, you know, things happen.
This way!
Woo! Yeah.
Yeah!
I wanted y'all to see some of Virginia.
All good, Chad.
I wanted you to see some of Virginia.
Right. I'm sorry, I totally misunderstood that.
Virginia's a beautiful state. I'm not blaming anybody, but Dickman told me to go left. I really am blaming Dickman, but I really don't care. No, the reason that we did that is that's a lot of Civil War was fought over there, and we wanted you guys to get, you know, just see some of that.
Took some pictures, which we figured it was.
I saw it the wrong way.
It's funny, but it's not. I just, oh man.
Where in my head? Where in my head?
Got Barnacle.
Just 1,000 miles from where I am.
Well, as the summer's coming to a close here, just kind of it's hitting me like a ton of bricks just right here in Charlottesville. I mean, just kind of realized, just looked at the book and saw that this is our last friendship visit for the summer, and you know it's pretty sad, really.
I'm sure I'm going to miss everything. I mean, sitting on a hard bike seat may not seem like the most fun thing to do all summer, but you're sure going to miss it when it's over.
Day 63, date August 3rd, approximately about 95 miles. Arrival time's 3 o'clock, guys. We got to be there, so we got to get on it today.
Every little thing is like a road along a highway. We hear the sweetest songs, then we share the half in my way. Love is like wine, it's always sweet to have it near you. When we're all together, it's a blast to sit and let loose. You know it's fun to burn great memories when we're all as one. It's a precious time. Lightning's gonna strike us down to a Spanish harbor. The fire rocks we walk on down, it's the memories burning. We're living like a rebel, creating from it somewhat the same. We don't have to worry about being lonely again.
It's a great ride today. It's beautiful, got great conditions compared to yesterday. This is just perfect. We just sit back and cruise, got a nice pace line. We're talking, having a good time, just enjoying our last couple hours on the bike together.
Everybody's saying, "Keep on home, mighty small." Right, never been right. To burn great memories. It's a precious time. You know it's fun to burn great memories. When we're all as one.
cycled 4,000 miles to be here. We left the Golden Gate Bridge on June 2nd. An average of 75 miles a day.
While they're getting the microphone on, can you help me welcome the 2002 Journey of Hope team?
I'm trying to contain myself. This is truly a humbling experience for me. This is quite a sight, and I know that everyone here is extremely proud of these guys. I just want to say a few words to the team and thank each and every one of them for the job they've done. I guarantee you this past week they met with a group of people with disabilities, and that group is right now anticipating their arrival next year. That's because of all the hard work and the great dedication that these guys have done. Lastly, I'd like to thank the parents, the family, and the friends that are all here. These guys, I tell you, I know that they've had a perspective and a priority change in life over the last 2 months, and you guys in particular are going to, if you weren't already high up on that priority and perspective list, you will definitely be now. I know from firsthand experience, and these guys will all tell you they probably couldn't have done this without you, so thank you for everybody and all your support with all these guys tonight. I'm to introduce Chris Coleman. He's our kind of a keynote speaker for us here at the steps. Both teams get to the steps of the Capitol and they talk about the great speeches that they've heard from Chris back in Atlanta. So with that, I'd like to introduce Chris Coleman.
And I know, to be fair, I'm not technically a member, but these are my brothers. You said what makes these men my brothers? These men, nobody like to not only be going up a mountain, but having the wind and the weather and the sun fight against you. But then these men both know what it's like to help a purpose and a mission and something to try for. Even when I couldn't move at all, I remember looking out my window and seeing the sunrise and the sunset and thinking there is more to life. These men have seen some wonderful sunrises, some magnificent sunsets, and they can't help but think it's more to life. I remember thinking that my disability was worse off than anyone else's until I saw someone that couldn't do half of the thing I can do. But yet, they had joy. They were happy about their life. And it was at that crossroad that I had to make a decision. And the decision is this: whether I'm going to live my life of joy or misery. These men have seen some people that was no doubt about it worse out than they are physically. However, they have joy. I know for each one of them, they come to a crossroad in their mind. If that person can have joy, why can't I? Why can't I? But let me ask you something. What good is your journey of your youth to motivate, challenge, and encourage this country? What I'm saying to you men behind me, the journey doesn't stop at the top of it. The journey is not a summer experience. It's a lifelong commitment.
Thank you, Chris. Certainly the experience doesn't stop here. The journey doesn't stop here. It continues. Thank you very much for that message, Chris. Let me say one thing. Let's tell these guys thank you one more time for representing Pi Kappa Phi.
If I were gone tomorrow, would anyone really care? Tonight I'd serve a purpose. Was I ever really there? Was I so sure there'd be tomorrow? I long for yesterday. Did I wallow in my sorrows and let the sun set on today? I can tell you one thing, I'm not going out that way. I might not be here tomorrow, but I'm still here today. Life is a journey of hope, and you've only got one life to live, and what it's for. So remember, it's not what you say, but how much hope you give. Life is a journey, you've only got
Best thing I've ever done in my life. It's the greatest feeling I've ever had. It's amazing. Just so many people here to see us, and just knowing what we did was the best thing we could have ever done. It's an awesome feeling.
Final conclusions. Probably the same as the start. It's just I knew it was going to be awesome. I just can't describe it though. And we're here, and we got so much in our hearts and minds, and I don't even know how to start. But it's been an awesome summer. I know I've done the right thing.
You can't really sum this trip up into words. It's something that I know will live with me for the rest of my life. And so to bring this back home and to kind of spread the passion, spread the awareness, spread the inspiration that I received on this trip, it's going to be one of my primary goals, and I'm just happy to be here.
Before, when you talked to me, honestly, like I thought this was the entire journey hope was the cycling, you know, like, so me not quitting, I thought that just meant me not quitting on the hill, or me not quitting, you know, on a day that I feel sick. But like, I didn't quit on that, but it's not about that at all. If I had to quit, oh well, it's about the guys I rode in with today, you know. It's like, it's about the friendship I had that's completely changed my life. Like, me not quitting on that is 20 times more important than me not making up a hill or something.
I set out on this trip to change someone else's life, and I came back a different person myself.
If I were gone tomorrow, I wouldn't really mind. It meant I served God's purpose. It meant I served mankind. If there is no tomorrow, I made a difference today. I drowned out all my sorrows and buried them with yesterday. Well, I can tell you one thing, I'm going out that way. I might not be here tomorrow, but I'm still here today. Life is a journey of hope, and you only got one life to live. You tell me what it's for. So remember, it's not what you say, but how much hope you give. Life